So we start with the introduction, and this is group 8. Yeah, we're in group 8. And we start with the introduction. My name is Steven Mwangi, and I go with the name SK. You can just call me SK.
Okay.
So this is...
You first?
You can go first.
You first.
Okay. So I'm Irene Kibiru, and you can call me Rin. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Yimin, and you can call me that. And today we will talk about the case, which is about the TikTok. So the first, do you have used the TikTok before?
Yes, and yes, I'm actually, I can say, of course, but I'm trying, but I can say I'm one of those adversely affected by TikTok, and I like it, I love it, it's so entertaining. I use it like 50 times a day. Anytime I'm free, I just hop in and see what is going on. So yes, I have used it, and I still use it.
I'm also a user. I'm on TikTok. I love TikTok basically because when you're stressed, it is a very good place to go and get some entertainment and to elevate your mood. So I love TikTok.
Yeah, I saw that. I have used the TikTok from China, so there are many different kinds of the funny videos, and also they can teach you something. And they also have some videos about the films. They will talk about what the film is talk about, and it will take a long time, maybe an hour or 2 hours. So there are many kinds of videos. I'd like to watch that. And now we can focus on our first questions, is identify the ethical issues with TikTok. I think that there are three kind of issues I'd like to talk about. The first one is the violation of privacy. This is especially for the children, because the TikTok there allows the children under 13 years old to sign up and post their content, so they can they will break the child privacy laws. Although they know what will happen, but they still connect their videos and didn't delete them, and also collect the data from the underage users. So it will cause. The second question is the user will worried about the security problem. Because the TikTok's large collection of the data, so and the data will maybe the user will worry about the data will come to China government. So and their policy of using the data and collect data is not very clear to let the user know how they collect, store, and use their data. This risk, the risk that this data could be sent to the China will raise the national security problems. And the third one is the most I want to talk about is about the addiction. I think the TikTok has the main features is about the For You page, and in this page, you can always watch the videos that you most like, maybe. And this is because this is based on the user's interest and their behaviors. So the company, maybe the apps the AI, maybe they will know how long you have focused on this video and what kind of this video is, and they will recommend you more and more this kind of videos. So this is just like use this to keep the user still watching, keep watching their videos, and they also it is also like the dopamine. Do you know that? It's just make you happy and it will let you continue to do this. And also the young people's brain are still developing, so this TikTok design will make it especially appealing to the teenagers and children's. They are more likely to get addicted to short videos. For the long term, the use of the TikTok can affect their studies and daily life. This may cause them to stay up late to watch the videos again and again, and cause some sleep problems. Also, they may get the difficult on the focusing on something. That's what I want to say.
Right. I think I have two issues, and the one is the misinformation and spreading of fake news. The app does not regulate the kind of information that is brought to the site. So you find there is a lot of fake news and misrepresentations of information that is happening in on the site. I think that is one of the things that the developers need to take care of. The other issue is about content moderation. It's so related to the misinformation, but they also need to do content moderation and censorship of the same. You find there is a lot of unnecessary content that is being created, adult content which is being displayed to the public, and as you said, you mean the developers have not put enough policies to make sure that there are no children accessing the site. So when we have this kind of content on the line, it is bringing out havoc, the pornography that we have seen on the site. We have also seen like when you compare Facebook and TikTok. I think Facebook, they have some of the issues, like when you are uploading, what do we call it, like a dead body of a person. There is a way that they browse that image and you open it at your own discretion. We have seen when there's accidents and people just throw those images and those videos on the line, and it's a scary thing. So the content moderation and censorship is one of the issues that need to be majorly looked by the developers of the app.
Yeah, I also want to add on the ethical issues. We have scamming and misleading advertisements on TikTok. So you find that there are people who are just there to make earnings out of misleading and scamming people. Personally, I have been a victim of being scammed on TikTok. You find a person advertising very nice clothes, and you send them your money and they are never delivered. So that is an issue that needs to be addressed. Also, there's this, from the case we learned about the workplace toxicity, where workers or employees, they face, or they are supposed to work for very long hours to be able to align with this TikTok management. So this has contributed to challenges and impacted to the employee morale. So those are the two I would have wanted to add. I can also add about moderation. There is biasness in the moderation of content. For instance, people with disabilities and the LGBTQ community, theirs is restricted as opposed to the other people. So there is discrimination and something I can call biasness. So that one also needs to be, because there are other people post very bad content but are not restricted. But if it is a case of disability and LGBTQ, then you find there's restriction. I need that it needs to cut across all board, yeah.
You're great. So I think there are maybe more problems that TikTok will have. So I think their basic problem is the data from the users did not have the complete protect, so their data, just like their phone number and their address, just like you have buy something on the TikTok, so they will get your address and your name, your mobile number. This will be used by others that not allowed to the company that you have bought.
There's no transparency on how they use this data that they ask you to provide, and how they're able to handle the data. So there's no transparency, especially about children cases, because even children are on TikTok. So that is an issue that needs to be addressed by TikTok, about transparency on how they use data that they collect from their users. Yeah.
Sure.
That is the reason that of late, I think recently we saw in the US, they had the US senators had summoned the owner of TikTok, and the major issue, the major concern from the US government is that the developer or the owner of the app, they accused them of selling their data to China or to the Chinese government. And of course, as you already politically, you know that China and the USA are competitors. They are not friends, as we can say. And so when we have a company coming from China and it's vastly used in the US, and then they are collecting data, they are collecting your names, your mobile numbers, they are collecting your social security numbers, and any other kind of information that you put online, and you don't know what they're going to do with it. Of course, there are likely to be problems, and that is why you have seen the US government also threatening to ban TikTok in the US. And there might be political issues aligned to the case, but basically there is a concern of data mining and what the apps or the TikTok is doing with those data.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So let's focus on the second question. Which one do you think is the root problems, and which one is symptom of the root problems? So the root problem, I think, is about the security. Yes, the information security. And it will cause the addiction, and also they will lose the user's trust and their ethical concerns. What about you?
I would say lack of transparency and accountability. There isn't clear policies, so to do it, to make sure that the data that they collect from the users is stored and used effectively. So there is that unclear, like there are privacy violations. So that one is a root problem. Yeah, lack of transparency.
I think one of the root problem is like lack of morality. Like when I'm developing something, I should be able to take care, to think about how this thing will affect my people. When I'm putting policies, I need to look at the morality of those issues. So I think the management and the developers of this are of a root problem with their morality is wanting, one to say, because if they were morally upright, they could have solved many of these problems that have been raised. So the management have ethical issues and they have morality issues. Again, I also feel that there is a lot of dynamics in the technological world, and the rapid technological growth is also bringing us problems that, like, every day when you develop an application or when you develop something, every day there are dynamics to it, and these dynamics need to be addressed when they are initiating this program, so that they know how will you be how will you be able to address these dynamics as they approach, instead of all these things piling up, and then before you can address them, they have already caused issues in the society.
I think that there's many problems they have, so they need to change them, and maybe first they need to protect our informations first, and that will cause them to do better, and their worries will be less, maybe. So the third question is to evaluate the TikTok's content moderation policy and practice. How does the transparency impact users' trust and the ethical use of the platform? What do you think about this part?
Excuse me, have you talked about the symptoms of the root problem? Sorry.
I don't think they are the same problems. Because the second one is to analyze which one is the root problems, the basic problems, and their symptom. Yes, and the third one is to elevate the policy and their practice, their motivations, and how to impact the users' trust. Do you have some ideas about this part? I think the unclear policy lead to their lower trust, because the TikTok's content moderation rules are not very clear, so the users don't understand how it works. And for example, that some content is removed for community guidelines, but the TikTok doesn't explain its details to the users. So this lack of clarity makes it hard for users to judge if the apps is being fired to them. And the second one, I think, is because the TikTok has the lowering the visibility of the content from some small part of users, and people will the people with disability, they are not accused. I think they are not accused, right? Is that right? So that although the TikTok says this is to protect them, this group of people, they think they are protected, but I think that many of this group of people says that it's not very fair for them. So this will damage their users' trust and raises some problems. Also, the TikTok is lack of the community involvement. Because it seems to create the content policy without enough consultation with the affect group. Just like the limited on the content from the people with disability were made without enough dialogue with these communities. If they were more transparent and involve the users in these decisions, the trust would be improved, I think.
Yeah, so I can also add on transparency impacts. We know that from the case, we know that it has TikTok has brief and vague content moderation guidelines that may lead to confusion and mistrust from the users. So yeah, they are not clear in their guidelines how they are supposed to protect their users. So it is giving some trust issues from the users. Yeah.
Myself, I think generally looking at the case and also adding to what is now happening in what we are experiencing. In terms of content moderation policies, I think TikTok has a long way to go, and they need to update their algorithms, and also they need also to train more of their human moderators for its content, and particularly combining those the cases that we have and what is happening. They need to be to focus more on building a trust of their users. They also need to improve on the policies that are designed to protect the data of its users. Also to upgrade how they filter the harmful behavior, graphic content, and also the misinformation that is happening. Transparency also needs to be of top notch, and this of course has a very huge impact on how the users perceive the platform. They need to build transparency, both from those content creators and also from those people who consume those contents. That is all I have.
Okay, you got this. And let's focus on the last questions. That is consider the potential long-term consequences of the TikTok's ethical challenges on its reputation, user base, and the global operations. What steps that can TikTok take to regain trust and improve its ethical standing? So, what do you think about this part?
I would first talk about reputation impact. The ongoing privacy issues and data handling controversies, they are not able to give clear information of how they handle our data as users of TikTok. It might damage
So the first one is damage to their reputation. I think they will lose the public trust, just like we have talked about, because if TikTok continues to ignore the issues that happens now around the privacy, the data security, and some transparency in the content moderation, the users will keep the users' trust will keep declining, and this will not only disappoint the current users, but also will stop the potential new users, especially in the countries that they are very focused on the security or the privacy. And then as the international has been grow, and now the news has passed fast and spread very fast. So the spread of the negative publicity is very important for them. As many as many regulators and the media, they are focused on the TikTok. So the negative news may continue to grow and grow. This will increase the public distrust of the problem. So these issues could harm the company's brand image and will be seen as the unethical or untrustworthy. I think the problem is like this. What about you?
Okay, I think you guys have looked at the company side as well, and I want to focus on the what do you call it? The effects on the public, and I think as things are, we are likely to see globalization of culture. And if the culture that we will create that will be promoted in TikTok is a negative culture, we are likely to see more of decaying the society in the future if nothing changes. So it's like now it's like when we say that a rotten potato in one sack also rots the others. So we are not able to regulate this, we are likely to see a globalization of negative culture. The second thing is that in the future, we are likely to see more legal wars. Like if I ask you guys, if you are a content creator in TikTok, who owns the content? Is it you who have created the content, or is it the app which owns the content? So we are likely to see more data ownership wars in the future, and we are also likely, in terms of businesses, as long as we say that there is fraud and scamming, we're also likely to see, or we have already seen, a lot of small businesses, small enterprises growing and using the app positively to grow their business. So if something is improved about the issues that we have talked, we're also likely to see that a lot of small businesses or even big businesses will continue to grow if they use this app as a tool for marketing. That is what I have.
And just to talk about that, it's those small businesses, it can either be positive or negative, because if you're scammed once and twice, you will fear asking or getting anything online. So it might also impact them negatively.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. So what do you think that the TikTok can take? What suggestion do you have to suggest them to do?
from the discussion, basically they seems to have a very big problem with how they manage their data and how the data collection and how they manage the same. I think there is a lot of mistrust in that line, and as long as it is not addressed, there will be issues. So I would advise them to put these things in public. Also, I also advise them not to collect so much information, personal information from the users. So they need to address the data mining, and they also need to educate the masses on why are you taking this kind of data and how are you planning to use this data.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, about content moderation, I would suggest inclusive policies, which they're supposed to develop content moderation policies in consultation with diverse user communities to ensure fairness and inclusivity. So it's not just the disabled people and the LGBTQ community and the vulnerable whatever. So it should cut across and with fairness. And they're also supposed to address the feedback from the affected groups so that they can be able to refine their policies. Yeah.
And I also think that they need to improve the age verification. Just like in Chinese version, the TikTok has to let the children under the 13 or under 16, I think, they will have to verify their ID and verify their pictures, so that although there are also some children that use their parents' ID, but most of the children will have the protect through this method, and also the children only allowed to use 40 minutes a day. So I think this will protect the children more.
Yeah, so I can also add another one about improving their workplace. So they're supposed to improve the workplace culture for their employees and mind their employees' well-being. And they should also address reports of maybe a toxic work environment and improve the support in the management practices, for the well-being of their employees.
That's great. So do you have any ideas? Any more ideas?
I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay, that's all for our discussion. Thank you, guys.